love bugs, it's Roslynn back at you one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family, as always, thank you so much for the love and support. It is truly appreciated. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please drop a line. It would be good to get to know you and chop it up. And if you've been with me for a while, hey, holler at the sister, so you can go ahead and chop it up. And if you feel like the videos just give you a good vibe, an uplift, go ahead and give a thumbs up and I'll greatly share. I'm sending so much love, prayers, beautiful, uplifting vibes towards anybody who's going through it to get to it. You know, anything that is just really dragging you down or just making you feel like it'll never end, I'm sending that towards you, just to keep continuing going, keep on going on towards it, you know, to better yourself. You know, never give up on yourself. You know, the devil wants you to do that, so don't do it. So I'm sending you whatever you need, consistency, patience, calmness, stillness, you know, upliftment, whatever you're needing, I'm sending that towards you a million times fold. Anybody coming in with nefarious vibes, everything is blocked, highly prayed up and protected. Anything you're sending towards my way, I'm sending right back 10 million fold. And the video I'm about to do today is called Spiritual Seasons Has Changed and So Have You. It is true, you know, even though it hasn't physically changed yet, depending on where you're at in the world, you know, shoot, it's hotter than the devil's toenails where I'm at. But, you know, just between, you know, the Lion's Gate, the 7-7 portal, what is it, 8-8, you know, all these different new moons and stuff is coming up, you know, it really puts you through a whirlwind of changes. You know, your seasons is changes within your energy, your essence, your aura, your version of yourself. You know, you had to really go through stuff. Childhood traumas may be popping up, different things that may have triggered you, stuff that you probably even forgot about, that was taking place, and you had to find out different things that was coming up. You know, it'll be certain things that you may be guiding you to have a different, you know, a deeper understanding about you, whether it's, you know, different movies, what else, different books, you know, different things that you may find online, like different videos or whatever, and it just gives you that aha moment, like, dag, I'm finding out deeper moments about myself, because it'll be a lot of times that make it feel like God really don't like us. You know, you be going through things after thing after thing after thing, and it'll be those times where he's really wanting you to be confident with yourself. You know, it'll be different times, like, I know I've been carried to watch all these new different movies. You know, anybody been with me for a long time know I love horror movies. And I can't wait to watch the new, the new Exorcist movie, and the Fun and Games and the Elevator Game. I can't wait to see those. But I was watching, Insidious Red Door is creepy because I have a red door. And, you know, it made so much sense to me because it's like breaking generational curses, and I'll just leave it at that. What else? Talk to Me. It's just basically, you know, anybody ever seen the preview of Talk to Me? It has a hand and you touch it and you talk to the dead, but it'll be just like you're making peace with your past. To me, that's what it felt like to me. But and what was it? Dampier. You know, it was just showing different stuff where you're really knowing who you are, and that kind of frequently made me, you know, resonate strongly with that. But, you know, it'll be different things that's guiding you towards that, to be able to, you know, you have this moment like, why do I have to go down this direction? Why does life have to be hard for me so many times? Why is everything got to be so daggone trivial? Sometimes I have a aha moment, I get it right away on, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. You know, I need to look at things different than what it is. Everything is not what it seems. Or I need to let the past go, or I need to forgive others as forgiving myself, walking in my truth, you know, standing in, you know, my boundaries, you know, being able to allow myself to know, you owe nobody an explanation on your change and growth. You know, if you can be just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Dad, if you want to go ahead and stay the same for the next 5 years, you go ahead and do that. But I want to change. You know, I want to be able to grow. I don't want to stay stuck in a vibration where, it's clearly telling me I need to grow on different things. If I want the best version of myself, you can't do that by being stagnant. A lot of times we're in a vibration of feeling like we're stagnant in different things, but it's just all of illusion. We're still, we'll have that thing where it felt like we're tethering with the illusions of what we used to be, towards that, because it's kind of like you're in between worlds. Anybody that's ever seen those little tarot cards where you see a little swan or a flamingo, and it'll be one dark side and it'll be one colorful side, and it'll be the hardest thing is when you are trying to step into your new and you still having the old part of you, because you've been through that for so long. You've had that old person of you for so long, and that season now is to, it'll be different things coming in and saying now the season's changed. Your interests will change. There'll be different things that you used to do you no longer do. There'll be different things that you used to eat that your body can no longer tolerate. You're probably going through a huge ascension, make you feel like you're going through a psychosis and stuff like that, and it'll be just different things. You're going through dark night of soul. You're going through, Kundalini, all those different things. Hot, cold, so those spiritual belts right there. hot, cold flashes, rashes at times, dry skin. You're constantly always thirsty, your hours, your sleep patterns is off, your solar plexus may be gone, acting up, and make feel like you have heart palpitations and all that stuff. Different times you can be sitting up there, you be laughing, next thing you start crying, and you're like, am I, what's going on with me? I'm going bipolar or whatever. But it's just like you're coming into alignment, and part of that self is like, it may sound crazy if people are not open to this, because there'll be some people you're just starting to figure out yourself, but it'll make a lot more sense when you're more open to outside of the box. I know I got a lot of naysayers and stuff that watch me or whatever, and they know what I'm talking about, but they want to block, but that's neither here nor there. But when you're opening yourself up, trying to understand, what is the part of me where I start having new phobias that I never had before, or different things that I know so much about and never did it. It's like you have to understand when you're getting towards that higher self, there's parts of you in different parallel universe. I said polar. Parallel universes, you're starting to know more about yourself, and there's different parts of you. If anybody ever seen the movie The One, or I forgot the one with, what's her name, Alonda Chu, or I forgot what it is, but I know she's in that new movie, Seance in Venice, or Exorcism in Venice. I forgot what it is, but I know, I was like, dang, that's my girl, because she played in a movie, and she was like, I don't know how to, she was like, she was doing the stuff like to do with hibachis, and she's like, I don't know how to do this, but yet I'm doing it. And it's just like I never watched the movie, but what I'm seeing from the preview, it made me think about the movie, the one with Jet Li, where there's so many different parallel universes of you, and there's a lot of times movies are a light imitating art, imitating life, imitating art. There'll be a lot of different things that's coming up, and it's showing you different things in your life. It's like, God, dog, this looks for real to me. I'm like, yeah, this is not imagination. They're putting out the subliminals, when we really need to watch them, and it's just doing that, because there'll be different times you'll have phobias that you never had before. You could be a person that loves to surf, and next thing you know, you go through a major shift in your life, a spiritual shift, going through spiritual flus, ascension flus, and stuff like that. And next thing you know, you get on a boat with all the stuff that's going on right now. You be like, I ain't lost nothing in no ocean. It'd be different things. I'll be seeing stuff like that, be making me seasick, and I'm sitting up in my room, and I'm just like, no, I can't understand how y'all can do that. Stuff like that. Be watching like TikToks and stuff, and it'll show one little person, they'll be looking like a little Finding Nemo against this big fish, and they're floating with them. I'll say, you're a better person than me, because I could not be doing it. But it'll be different things that's coming into your life where it may be feeling like everything's moving slow, and it may be things where it's picking up and going really fast. Like you don't know the different days between it, and you're like, dang, I thought it was Tuesday and it's already Thursday already. And it'll be different times where you're manipulating time, you're moving so fast, or it just seems like, it'll be like if you're at a job or school, and you're like, oh, I'm ready for this day over, and you'll be so focused for the day to be over, you don't realize you just expended your whole time there just because the fact is you ready to get up out of there, And it'll be all the different changes that's going through. It'll be times you really mad at God, like, I'm tired of going through these different things in my life. But it'll be just those times where, when you finally get to where you need to get to, you'll understand this is what you needed to go through. This is what strengthens you. Whatever your weakness was, it became your greatest strength. You might have been that person that didn't believe into yourself, but you had to go through so many different things that made you second guess your own reality. And then it'll come to a point like, oh, I'm surprised that, it could have been a situation I never thought I'd get over. And next thing you know, I get over that. Or it may be a person I never thought I could be able to live without or be without. And next thing you know, I understand I'm still in peace with myself, whether or not that person's in my life or not. Or I may have been that person that I was always a do-gooder, or already been that Mr. Reliable or Mrs. Reliable. Now it came to that point where I started getting selfish and started saying no, because so many people were predicting to do that, and I used to be a pushover. Be all those different things. Your seasons are really changing within your life, and you're really trying to understand it, and you're really maybe going through stuff where God is really testing you, and He will test you by hitting below the belt. Like, I'm gonna see how you're gonna respond to this, or I'm gonna see how you're going to react to this, or what are you gonna say about that, or how is this really gonna hit you? Is this gonna be a major setback for you, or are you gonna understand there are certain things that's gonna come into my life that's gonna be totally out of my control, whether I feel like it's fair or not fair, or I feel like there's different things, and it'll be different times where you're seeing yourself as like you become dangerous when you control your emotions, or you allow yourself to respond or think. You're using logic instead of going through emotions. I used to be that person like, oh, you really ready to take it to the streets, and we go to the streets, or you want that whole fade, you got to get it. Now it's just like, is this really worth my time? Is this going towards what I'm trying to make better for myself? Is this even worth me even speaking towards that? And you're like, did you respond to it? Yeah. What'd you say? He said, why you get quiet? That was my response. There was, sometimes God will place different things. He will place your enemies into your life just to see how you're going to respond to things, because He knew what your issues were. Well, to a certain extent, sometimes we can do stuff that's subconsciously and unsubconsciously. Or there'll be different things that we normalize, that we grew up doing for so long. And then you'll see there'll be certain times where you felt like, oh, I can't be by myself. And there'll be those different times God will sit up here and isolate you and just say, I need you to become your own best friend, Or different times where He'll bring people in your life where there'll actually be some people in their life that'll really see the heart of gold that you have, or the light that you have, or the energy you carry. Like, oh my God, you were such a beautiful person, and I want to be able to work with you. I want to be able to guide you, and don't realize you're each other's spirit guides. Or there'll be different people who come into your life and see that and be totally threatened by it, and try to do anything you can to dim that light, And it'll be those different times you had to be able to go through that and just be able to appreciate the good and the bad. And a lot of times it's really hard to do that, especially if we stay focused on the bad all the time. It's like this person did this person did that. And there'll be those different times where you had to be able to understand and sit back and just breathe through it and just say, you're seeing what that person's true intent is for you. What motives they had behind those. Everybody is part of our lives is the life lesson. That's the book of growth. A book of transcript of transition. Different stuff like that. And it'll be different times. There'll be times where we get upset. God knows we're human, we're spiritual beings with human emotions, and it'll be just those times when we get out of our feelings, get out of our minds, in the negative space. And just say, what are these different things teaching me? Not just about the world, not about individuals or a situation, but what is it teaching me about myself? Am I going really within? Or, it'll be different naysayers. Or am I believing what other people are saying? And it'll be a lot of times people will really believe in you just because they want to convince you so bad of what you truly are and don't want you to see it, because they see it. And a lot of times it's scary. They'll see it before you do. But there'll be different people that say, what, you got a story to tell. There'll be many people on my comment section that I've talked to for years, and they'll tell me their stories and stuff like that. And it's beautiful when we can do that on my platform, where you exchange, well, we exchange our views of life, how we went through different things, how it made us grow, where we may be now, where we're trying to understand about ourselves. There's a lot of people that are waking up finding there are Heyokas. You'll be those different persons that always did things the hard way. do things ass backwards. You know, a lot of times, even through the most, heartfelt things or the most hateful things or the most darkest things, we can bring some kind of jokes into it, some kind of dark, humor. Like, how you going to find some dark humor in between stuff like that? And it'll be just those times where, it don't always have to be textbook. There'll be different times where we could have just crossed the street just to get to where we go. But no, we wanted to walk through the whole neighborhood because there was something that was guiding us to do that, because we'll learn so much more throughout the scenery, be how the wind blows, how, the different, there'll be certain leaves that didn't change in a certain way, be different things like that. It depends on how deep your mind goes on different things when you pay attention to detail. Or it'll just, the nature will end up talking to you about your life, like everything is going to be okay, nothing is all as it seems, just give yourself a little bit more time, or, allow yourself to be easier on yourself. Your seasons are changing within yourself. A lot of times our seasons change when it changes, spring to fall, fall to summer, different stuff like that. But your seasons seem to be changing a lot more, where you can look back at certain situations in your life and see how, a month could really change you in a certain way. You may have been down, lonely, and depressed, and then when it got to that point where you really put yourself in hermit mode, a lot of people are placing themselves in hermit mode right now. You're shutting down a lot of different things where you don't want to talk to people, and it'll drive me crazy when I do that at times, because it makes me feel like, I'm ignoring certain people that I usually talk to on a daily basis. Or it'll be different times where I took it personal when people do the same thing. I'm like, are you mad at me? I'm like, girl, no, I'm trying to find myself. I was like, okay, well, let me know when you do. It'll be different things like that. But these are those times where you have to be a little bit selfish. There'll be different times, I love being able to be here, because it allows me to be able to meet people that are like me, and it'll be like, dang, there's some people out here like me that's kooky, crazy, and funny, and jokes. You be serious, like, you've been with me for a while, you might make me think I'm crazy. It'll be different times I can come out, I'll be mad as I don't know what in a video, and next thing you know, I get emotional, and then next thing you know, I go jokey, and you'll be seeing so many different facets about me. I might schizo, I ain't crazy, but I'm a good kind of crazy, just keep it real, but just going through those changes, your season's changing, and so are you. You're going through these different things, and then it'll get to that point, you may not see it in that midst of the storm. When you're sitting right dead in it, that mess is feeling unbearable. You just be ready to cuss out everybody. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, get out my face. I'll punch in the face. Just like, stop telling me how you're proud of me, because I'm not proud of me right now. I'm trying to be a real G about it, and you really trying to bring a little little rainbows out my butt, and I'm not really trying to feel that right now. I'm just mad. I'm ready to go butt wild, whatever. But then there'll be those different times, because it's like you're on a new level, and being on a new level like that, when you're going against the grain of challenge, you're challenging yourself and don't even realize it. It's showing you how proud, universe and God is with you, but just showing you how strong you are, even when it feels like, you're not going to make it. Or how am I going to get past this? How am I going to be able to cut cords with this? And you don't realize it just when you are being bold enough to go against that, saying this is not easy. I understand that. But then you have to be able to say to yourself right after that, but this is something I have to do. If I want to be at peace with myself, there are certain things I'm going to have to accept for what it is and keep moving, disconnect and keep moving. There'll be certain people that I love dearly, and I'm going to have to cut cords and keep moving, love people from a distance. There'll be different things that's going on in your life where changes is taking place, and it really show you is these certain people. There are certain people in your lives that will be there where no matter how many the seasons change, whether it was good, bad, happy, or sad, they never change their tune with you. But there'll be certain things that were people there that that were always there when things was popping, things was good, and then the next when things got really bad for you, a lot of times you are on your own, especially when you went through that spiritual awakening. There'll be a lot of times you can't work a normal job anymore. You start seeing the different reasons, especially if you're a Heyoka, why drama always came to you, why you lost jobs a lot more times, why people always came to you with attitudes and you ain't said nothing but, hey, how you doing, and God bless, and they be ready to just square it up with you, and not really knowing that in a gangster this, and you like, look, that beast ain't gone, it's just sleep, okay? Don't go there with me. You don't want to push that. There'll be different times that challenge me like that, and I'm like, let me go pray for you, because if you make me come out of here, we're going to have to call you an ambulance. So, like, yeah, I'll say ambulance. But it'll be those different times. But it'll be, different times I used to get mad at myself, but then it was just like, stop focusing on all the negative stuff, but just look at the negative things and see what positivity you got out of there. I had God to stand up here and say, me and the devil, and I'll tell you real quick, and I say that all the time, the devil and God have the same mission, but they got two different intents on the different stuff they're doing. God want to be able to show you what you're dealing with in the real world, especially when you're going through these changes on a new level, different devils. You're going to deal with different stuff like that. When you are going up, and I always tell people, when you're rising up in your light, I guarantee you got a dark tracker that's rising right along with you. Everybody, you got one of them little secret agent Smiths running around there. You a little Neo, Oreo, or Oracle. I said Oreo. You probably Oreo too. And I'm not talking about somebody in the color, but I'm just saying you're Oreo, Oracle. Oracle, Neo, Neo and Trinity all at one time with a little side, a little splash of Morpheus and all that. And what you're doing this, and you're starting to find out about yourself. The devil don't want that. Devil want to, keep you all in the midst of what is not really important. The enemy is your distraction is their ultimate vision for you. They don't want you to focus on growing. They don't want you to see the goodness within yourself. They definitely don't want you to see your strength, because that'll bring a whole kingdom of BS down real quick. But then you're doing this, and just understand, why do people always attack me? Because you got something that triggers the truth out, and some folks don't like that. There'll be some people like, that I've met on here where I've had a lot of little negativity come out. Or be just, oh, you're not this, you're not that, or threaten me saying, if I'm a Heyoka, you better stop saying that. Heyoka. Look, I didn't pick this, they picked me, and whatever. But it would be different things like that. You will be, like I always tell anybody, if you're a Heyoka, the more you open up to be teachable and you start learning more about yourself, and it's sad, there'll be certain people that are in our tribe that you will trigger something out of. And I'm not saying everybody like that, because some people are like, we can intertwine in different changes. Something that I may not know, and you schooling me up on it, and it could be vice versa. So not knowing, we're all teachers and students. You ain't in no competition or comparison with anybody. What can't compete will never compare. Everybody on their own journey, but we're all teachers and students. There's something, an idiot will sit up here and say, I know enough, or I know everything. A person that's genuine in their mind, I don't know everything, but I love to learn something new every day. That's how you're supposed to be. You want to be teachable. That's what a real warrior do. You're real smart. You're real powerful in your mind. It's like when a lot of times your wars that you winning is a lot of times when you standing still and you just evaluating what's all going on in every corner. Be like what's his name? Denzel Washington on Equalizer. Actually he didn't just stand there, but he just if you ever seen Equalizer, he put, he gave himself a certain time, and he looked at everything and already seen every problem where there was going to be a solution with, and how he was going to use it in 2.9 milliseconds. And that's what we're doing. Except that was probably like a bad analogy, but I'm just saying, you'll start picking up on a lot of different things you weren't able to, because a lot of times you start panicking. I don't know how to do this. They gave me this riddle, and we're riddlers anyway. Be one of the ones to be like, what the hell they just say? What are they talking about? It'd be different stuff like that. But you're learning more about yourself. You're growing, and you're educating yourself through your ups, your downs, your highs, your lows, your triggers. Your triggers are a blessing in disguise, and I had to find that out many a days. Your triggers are a blessing in disguise, because it's showing you where you need to heal. It's showing you where you need to let go of. It's showing you where you need to move further. Understand yourself. Even when we're being attacked by other people, it's us against ourselves. It's not us against them. Even when they come at us, it had to be at that point where we had to not take it personal. A lot of times it's hard to be able to do that, especially if you're a person like me, because I'm like, you get in my face a little bit too much. We're gonna have to take it. We're gonna have to go there. And I'm like, please don't put your hands on me. That'll be a wrong thing for you. I'm more scared about what I'm gonna do to you than you are to me. It'd be one of those points. But it'll be those different times where I had to really control my emotions, and being able to understand a lot of times, you are against yourself, because if somebody's coming up and it's just they're doing different things that'll just because they need that or whatever, it'll be at that point where you can use this as an exercise. Am I allowing myself? I'm like, okay, I already see where this is at. Okay, and what are you gonna? In the universe, it'll be your higher self. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna just walk away. That has nothing to do with me. You don't understand that? Even though it was directed at me, it was just that point. That person was sent in my life, even though it could be some hellish stuff that they're placing on you. The person was sent in their life to help me heal. So whatever it is that I was frigid with, or different things that'll set me off, you can control that. Now, if somebody put their hands on you or they start bringing weapons to you, that's a whole different story. But if it's something more about mental, emotional, and verbal, different things like that, where it's like not threatening your life or whatever, but I'm just talking about triggers. A lot of different triggers I had, where a lot of things where I had to really look back, where there'll be certain things that are really a trigger to me, like, oh, I can't stand this, I can't stand that, and it'll be, people will use that against me, and I had to be at that point where everybody don't need to know everything about you, because there's a lot of times when things are not going certain people's way, they will automatically use that against you. Just to, if I feel this way, I want you to feel that way too. And it had to be at that point where, that has nothing to do with me about how you feel. I could be having a crappy day, but if I see somebody's in their peace, I want to be able to leave them in their peace like that. Even if I may feel some type of way, that's something that I'm going through. It's not that person's problem. Now, but it'll be at that time where if you see somebody rubbing stuff in your face, especially if they know your mannerism, your body language and stuff, you may be a little defensive, or you may be going through some stuff. I've had to go to school with people. I had to work with people. I even got them in my family to do that, add on towards that. But then there'll be those different things that's more, normal people don't go around doing stuff like that. And I had to be able to understand to not take that personal. I had to be able to understand to not take that personal. Go within. Everything does not need your response. You had to be able to do that. And I had to be able to do that. And it'll be just different times where it'll be like, dang, that really hurt me. But then it'll be at the same time, it's like, dang, I'm proud of myself because I didn't respond to anything. My response, a lot of times your response, your power of silence. You're moving in silence. You're doing things in silence. You're catching yourself before you say something. You're walking away. Because a lot of times we can get in our pride, like, oh, you ain't gonna pump me, you ain't gonna do that. But there will be a lot of times like, this is not even worth it. I'm a better person than that. A lot of times I'll be looking at God like, you really was testing me. He'd be like, yeah, I was, just to see if you gonna catch on to what I'm doing. Because there's a lot of times that God would do that. Like I said, devil and God were hand in hand, but they got two different intentions and motives about the reason why they're doing stuff like that. God wants you to be able to know you are control. Only thing you don't have control over your life, but you got control over what you respond to, not react. You have to learn to observe and not absorb. Be able to check out what's being, somebody will bring a bone to you just to take one right back. There'll be a lot of times somebody asking too many questions about you. Why are you trying to know so much? You going through that, changing through the seasons. You may have been that person with a very open book. I used to be that way. I had to learn from my situation I'm going through, especially here. You cannot be sitting up here telling things about stuff, especially if it's not in concrete and it ain't about to be distributed out. I always have to tell people, especially on here, especially when I used to do twin flame videos. And they were like, Roz, I'm about to go on union. I'm like, no, don't say that. And they were like, why are you jealous of this? I'm like, no, go look it up. You never tell nobody about you going in union. Now I said, now it'll be a different story. If me and you were talking one-on-one, we talking email, we talking on some kind of, DM or whatever like that. But do not come on here talking about something that you really, really love. There are some miserable people out there, they don't even have to know you. Oh, no, they ain't about to meet them. Or like, oh, me and my twin flame just finally got off the phone. We're going to meet up today. And there'll be a lot of people like, oh, God, I'm so happy for you. And it'll be that one or two miserable people sitting up in there trolling and say, oh, no, their car going to break down. Or, something, they're going to get real sick. They ain't about to come they put the word spells on different stuff like that. Be quiet. Anything that's happy, and, or anything that makes you happy, keep that to yourself. Not everybody want to see you happy. Not everybody want to see you exceed. You going through those different seasons where you starting to understand that. You had to learn it by going through these different situations. That's why it's just like when I look at it, it's not about me dragging my past into it, but just being able to see the positive that can come out of a negative. There'll be different times your growth can be very threatening to other people. It can be very intimidating. And I'm just like, if it's intimidating, it's like me thinking intimidation that scares you. And if you really think that person scares you and you see the power in them, why would you keep on, instigating and stuff like that? Because they don't want you to get in touch with that. But there'll be different times where you have to understand, especially with you being an empath and you become one within yourself, or this is something that you've been doing since you were younger. You're going to understand there's a lot of things that's going to trigger some different things that's going to be threatening towards that person. You may be able to live in your light some other person may not, believe, they feel like their light can't shine. And you can. It's all about you having confidence in yourself. Y'all be nervous, but, you're strong on being able to move forward even when you don't know what's going on. Because a lot of times we get scared. We start self-sabotaging stuff. Just because I don't have what it takes. Why are you putting that kind of doubt on yourself? Why are you trying to sit up here and say, I don't have what it takes? And it'll be those times where we be placing that doubt in ourselves. You have to be able to see, even though I don't know what's around that corner, let me have faith I'm be able to handle it. Even if I don't understand, I already know I'm going to get some kind of guidance where it's going to lead me towards my way. Different seasons where you even changing how you speak to yourself, how you push different things out there. God knows, I'll be honest, like, okay, this is getting on my nerves. You're like, yeah, I know it's getting on your nerves, but you're going to give up? Nope. I'm stubborn like that. I'm not giving up on nothing. I already know. Anything I tell people, you're on a good track when there's people trying to convince you can't make it. Or it's going to take too long for this to transpire for you. Or, you have to have this and this and that to make this happen. Or you don't have enough money to distribute this out for you to be your goal. And it'll be just those different things along that line of you learning, whether you fail, constantly failing back to back to back to back. Now, it'll be different times, but it'll be those different times that God will put that into your life. And even if you feel like 2 or 3 times or 4 or 5 times, and you just like, this is something I feel like it's calling me, different things that, just keeps making me go for it. And I'm very hungry for it. I'm very passionate about that. And it may be something by the time you get to it, you may have lost interest in it. But the whole point is like, it's never a waste. It wanted you to sit back and look how many times that I gave up, or I wanted to give up and I didn't, or different times where I felt fall short, or different times that, I really just didn't understand what was going on. And it was just like, look at the subliminal in that. You never gave up. Even though you went in every direction, we already knew by the time you got to that pinnacle or got to that state line or whatever you want to call it, a little emphasis, whatever. You got to that point where your point was, and you didn't have interest in it, and the whole point was we wanted to see if you were going to give up just because things got cut tough, or just because you didn't get it right away, or you didn't feel successful overnight. You weren't an overnight celebrity, you weren't an overnight success. We wanted to be able to see that within you. And and there'll be those times where you might have that little weakness of not believing in yourself and having faith and having belief in it. But just because you went through all those things is showing you, look how we made you believe in yourself even when you didn't know what was going on. Look how we know you had faith when you had haters coming up because they knew that you were stubborn like that. You kept going. They probably put we even assigned them to sit up here and put some daggons, speed bumps in front of you just to be able to see, if you were going to allow what the enemy was doing to make you fear up on giving up on something like that. There'll be different people that gave up on their dreams and come in there and try to make you give it like, just because you gave up on yours and you felt like you couldn't do it. Don't be trying to breathe that type of stuff into my life. It'll be those different things where you really sit up here and see how your seasons has changed, and being able to show you, if I did not go through these different things in my life, would I really know how hard it is? Because it'll be just like those things. If it's going to impact your life in a huge way, it's never going to come to you easy. You won't keep going through different things. You won't keep going through these things. People will come up to me and ask me about, they've been YouTubers. It's like, Roslynn, I got a strike against me. Somebody done turn me in. It's like, what? That's a blessing. They be like, Roslynn, what you mean? I said, anytime you're doing something good and important, If you don't have people trying to, oh, I'm going to unsubscribe because you're talking about, okay, what was your point on doing that? Why couldn't you just unsubscribe? Or why do you have to put something, you want a gravy train of negativity, so you play something very ugly on somebody's video? If they weren't personally talking about you, why would you even do that? I mean, there's so many videos that just rub me the wrong way and stuff like that. And you know what I did? I just unsubscribe, or especially if or it could have been just one day or one video or, one content, whatever I didn't like. And it was just like, okay, you ain't got to sit up here and say anything, because I know I'm a content creator. So I already know how that is. That can really mess with somebody's, self-esteem. I say ego, because you shouldn't be putting your ego in there. But your self-esteem, your ability to feel like you do something. But then it'll be just like, if you don't have haters trying to stop you, you are not doing nothing good. If you ain't got somebody trying to breathe, death into something that you really putting into life, you're not doing something good. I used to always constantly hear haters are your best fans because they think you great. If they didn't think you great, they wouldn't be trying to do all these different things to, shadow ban you or try to get people to come in and talk bad about you, or they just stump your line to you and not realizing they making you famous. It'll be like, well, they talk about me and da-da-da-da. I say talk about God too. They say something about, girl, I know, I hear different stuff that come back to me about what's been said about me. You don't get upset? No, because I know that's not me. And if you were dumb enough to believe that, hey, you don't need to be around me anyway, because shoot, you already know how I roll, or at least if you questionable about it, you come and ask me before you automatically, shoot me down as a villain. But it'll be those different challenges you're coming into your life where your growth is going to have a lot of ups and downs. You're going through those different seasons where you're going to have people encourage you and is telling you, hey, don't stop what you're doing. You're really good at what you're doing. Hey, this situation that you went through, you shouldn't have made it past that, but yet you have. There were so many different things were supposed to take you out, and it didn't. And you still rised above, even when you didn't feel like you had the energy to keep going. There was something that kept on telling you, just keep going. You're not that, it's not that much longer. Just keep going. You're not on this on your own, even when it feels like you are. You're going through all these different changes in life that you never expected you should. But these are the different things that you're going through in growth, where you finally get to. Even if you're not finally all the way there where you're surpassed and not realize you expect to get to a certain situation, and you look back at the destination you set for yourself, like God's is always aiming higher, but set for yourself. And you look back and see, not dwell on your past, but look how far you have come. You're never the same person that started the journey that you're on. You've grown. You don't had a lot of setbacks, but you had a lot of comebacks. You had to kind of knock down, drag out fights with yourself, other entities, even with the change within challenge of yourself. You've gone through those different things, and you're learning not to take things personal. Everything is not what it seems. Believe in yourself, even when things give you a reason to, because that's where faith really lies in at. And patience, I hate that word. It makes me want to just, jump in. I don't like that word. But, you have to be able to have patience. Like, oh, I don't want to feel that. But you have to be able to work on that every day and understand why you have to let go of that. Understand why you had to go through that. And you're going through different things. It's not easy. It's easy for you to like, oh, that's too painful. I don't want to think about that. That's going to trigger me. That's going to do that. But then not realizing you're only hindering yourself. Yeah, I'm going through these different changes. I had people laugh at me. I'm going through struggles. There'll be a lot of things that I've gone through. I wouldn't even wish the people that put me in my situation to go through that, because that's just wouldn't. But then I allowed myself to know I believe in myself, had faith in myself. Even when things were hard, be sometimes, I used to tell people, I used to smoke weed, cigarettes and stuff like that, to be sometimes I'm going through different changes and, had a setback the other day. I'm like, I'm okay about it. Shoot, when you're going through challenges of change, it's fine if you laugh at me, go ahead. But strength comes in when you are willing to face things that'll make you want to run away. Even when I want to get tired and give up, I never gave up on myself. Use the things that I've gone through to keep pushing me through. Use the different things that you're going through that you get tired of dealing with to make you not give up on yourself. Because different times, God will be he'll put some hell in your life to make you move. You know, he'll be like, okay, you sitting up on yourself a little bit too much here. And you're like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it this day. And they say, okay. And he already know what your triggers are. He already know what makes you mad. He already knows what irritates you. So he gonna sit up here and do right exactly that. Do you want to keep dealing with that every day? No, you want to keep doing this every day, this and every day. Okay, well, I need you to go ahead. Even if it's little baby steps at a time. Your seasons are changing, and so are you. So I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video, y'all. I forgot to write down, Alexander St. Anger. I have not got a hold of your comments yet. I don't know when this video is going to come out, so if I have not responded to you yet, I wasn't going to even be doing videos today, but I was urged to go ahead and do that. So please don't take offense of it if I have not responded to you. Plus, you know me for a good minute, so you already know how I can be. It'll be taking about 3 or 4 days before I can get back to your comments or whatever. But I do appreciate you, and I missed you so much. I was wondering about you. I was just thinking about you the other day, and I was like, the names has changed, but a lot of times y'all been with me for a long time, and since I guess they're going by emails and stuff like that, so I'm like, I don't know who this is. Like, Roslynn, it's me. I'm seeing your email. I'm not seeing your actual name, so please forgive me if I'm like, I don't know who you are. You got to be able to tell me, hey, this is such and such. Like Farrah, I forgot her daggone tag name or whatever, but hey, Sister Love, Farrah, SCD Real, I already know her sister ain't changed, so much love to you as well. If you've been with me for a while, drop a line, or if you haven't, drop a line. I would love a chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for the views, the thumbs up, the shares. I really truly appreciate it. Donations, emails, all those beautiful things. Please be safe and responsible for everything you do. Do not give up on yourself. Stay woke. You may be going through the toughest situation right now, and I send so much prayers and loving hugs towards your way. Keep going. Even if you got to go in hermit mode for a while just to get, in tune with oneself, you go ahead and do that. But just do not give up on yourself. A lot of times it's just, it is what it is. You just have to be able to do it, but just keep pushing through, okay? So, even through social distancing, make sure you give out love, light, positivity, birds, vibes, frequencies. Those things could really take somebody a long way. And as well as, you're doing it for positive intent, coming straight from the heart. And love is going to take you even further. So much love. Shalom. I say, blessed be. Namaste. I love y'all. So, what did I say? And grand risings whenever you do see this. So, take care of yourself. I love you. And you'll see me on the next one. Much love. Peace.